What up, YouTube? It's Knowledge of Self-Determination. So I figured I would talk about this latest situation with Charlamagne. Now I've only listened to a few people's opinions on the situation and the reports on it, and based on what I know about the situation, this happened in 2001. Charlamagne was throwing a party for a relative of his, a graduation party, and somehow this 15-year-old girl that knew his people or was associated with them somehow comes to the party. Now, the girl says that when she got there, she noticed it was more guys there, more men there than there were females, and you know these are the peers of Charlamagne for the most part, most of them. So they're more than likely in his age group. So this is what the girl said. She noticed, there were a lot more guys there than girls, and they were older guys, older than her. She's 15. She's a kid, probably first year of high school. Now, she says that Charlamagne slipped something in her drink. Somebody slipped something in her drink. Now, listen, I don't know who's telling the truth in this story, but yeah, she ultimately says that she was assaulted. Charlamagne pled guilty to a lesser charge because he said he wanted to protect his cousin. Now, I don't know who's telling the truth in this situation. I don't know. I have no idea. But I will say this. If you are a 20-year-old man, 20-plus-year-old man, you should not be in the vicinity of fucking teenage girls. If you are 20 years old and older, you should not be in the vicinity of teenage girls. At 19, I guess you could almost get a pass, because if a 15-year-old comes on to a 19-year-old, that's a 4-year difference. They're not really that far apart, you know what I'm saying? These are kids that grew up together. These kids went to the same elementary school, you know what I'm saying? They probably weren't necessarily in middle school together, but they were definitely in high school together, But even still, you're still older. 19 is different from 15. Granted, you know what I'm saying? It's a slippery slope, and in my opinion, my thing was I was never into young chicks anyway. So when I was 17, 18, 19, you know what I'm saying? I wasn't really trying to get with no fucking teenage chicks. That was just me. You know what I'm saying? Now, if I was 19 and I had a 17-year-old girlfriend, and I think there were a couple times where I did, date 17, 18-year-old chicks, you know what I'm saying, when I was 19. I mean, you're just a year or two apart. But I don't know. I guess 20 is that threshold. You know what I'm saying? 20 to me is that threshold. You shouldn't be dealing with teenagers when you're 20 and over. You should not be dealing with teenagers. You know what I'm saying? If she's 18 and you're 25, I don't know. I would still be careful with that shit. That's just me. I would be careful with that shit. You know what I'm saying? I never got hemmed up in no shit like that, because dealing with young chicks has never been my thing. I've always been into older chicks, mature chicks, you feel me? Chicks in my age bracket or older. It never really had a thing for young chicks. Anyway, so the Charlamagne situation. Now, I don't know what's going to happen with this situation. His career is definitely in jeopardy now just because of the accusation. And it's an actual thing that he pled guilty to this, but he still was able to get his job. But now that this has come to light and this has bubbled to the surface, his career, his livelihood could be in jeopardy. His career could be in jeopardy, So I really don't know what to say about the situation, but I will say this, guys. I mean, I know guys who have been locked up for getting caught up in that trap of dealing with some fucking 15, 16-year-old chick, and you 23, 24, 25, in Maryland, you know what I'm saying? I'm not I'm not sure what the age of consent is in Maryland. I think it's 16, 17. I'm not really sure. I'm not sure what it was back in the day either. But I know dudes who got caught up in shit. You know what I'm saying? And I tell dudes the same thing all the time, man. You gotta put these chicks through a fucking interview process. You know? I mean, cause, bro, I mean, you can look at a chick. Yes, if it's hard for you to give a chick the eye test and be able to say, you know what, she's 21 and over. I think I could work with that. You know, if you can't give it an eye test and you're just not sure, have a conversation with her. I guarantee you, having a conversation with a 15, 16-year-old chick is going to be like having a conversation with a 15, 16-year-old chick. I don't give a fuck how mature they think they are. That's the conversation that they're going to have with you, because that's where they are mentally. You know, have a conversation if you're not sure. Hell, ask to see her ID. I mean, on some real shit. Call her ass. Check that shit out. Avoid the pitfalls. You know what I'm saying? Like what was the group back in the day? What was it? Belle Biv DeVoe. I think, was it them? They came out with the song Poison. That girl is poison. Never trust a big butt and a smile. You know what I'm saying? Never trust a big butt and a smile. Don't get caught up in the dumb shit, you know? But guys, there are no fucking excuses out here for you. You know what I'm saying? You shouldn't be fucking with little girls. Plain and simple, man. You shouldn't be fucking with little girls. You shouldn't be out here, you know what I'm saying, sticking your dick in the fucking adolescent pool. You know what I'm saying? You need to be in the ring with motherfuckers in your motherfucking weight class, in your age bracket. There's no excuse for that kind of shit, you know? That little girl shit, man, that's nah, man, that's crazy. You know, if Charlamagne did do anything with her, he pled guilty. Now, I'm not sure his situation. I'm not sure if he was financially stable back then, and if pleading guilty was, you know what I'm saying, his way of avoiding, you know what I'm saying, a costly trial. Because going to trial costs money. You know what I'm saying? It costs money. And that's where a lot of brothers get hemmed up, because they don't have the finances to pay, to be able to afford a trial. They don't have the time or the finances necessary to go through that process. So you take the plea, you know what I'm saying? You cop out to a lesser charge. You might get time served or PBJ, a probation before judgment. You may or may not have to pay a fucking fine, but you get to go the fuck home. That should be on your record for the lesser charge, but you still get to go home at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? That's a lot less hassle than having to come up with tens of thousands of dollars to pay a lawyer to go through fucking trial. Who knows how long the trial is going to last, depending on the case, you know? So there are circumstances that may have a guy pleading guilty to a lesser charge for some shit that they're actually innocent for, you know? But our judicial system, our legal system doesn't gauge innocence. They only gauge guilt or not guilt. You don't have to prove innocence. You just have to prove not guilty. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to say this, though. There are some questions. 7-8, I watched 7-8's video, DCB, Dream Chasing Boxing. They put up a good video. And Barbershop Conversation put up a good video on the situation. Now, I agree with all three opinions to a degree. All three of their opinions to a degree. But like 7-8 brought up, I have some concerns about this 15-year-old girl being at this party. There was alcohol there. Now she says she felt uncomfortable, but then she started drinking. What happens when you start drinking? When you start drinking, you start getting drunk. You understand what I'm saying? When you start getting drunk, strange shit starts to happen. You know, yeah. Anyway, I wasn't there. I do not know what happened. I do not know how that evening went. I don't know what occurred. I have no idea. But I want to know why the fuck a 15-year-old girl was at a fucking party with grown-ass men that had alcohol and possibly other drugs there. And she was allowed to be. Why was she there? You understand what I'm saying? Why was she at that party? Why was she invited to that party if there were nothing but grown-ass people there? You know what I'm saying? If there were nothing but grown-ass people there. They're your cousin's friend. Your cousin just graduated high school. I get that part. But the alcohol part, I mean, in fact, I think the lesser charge he pled to was contributing to the delinquency of a minor. He wasn't. Now let me make that clear. I didn't hear anything of him being charged with rape. You understand? Just contributing to the delinquency of a minor. But now the girl is coming out saying that she was actually raped. I don't know what happened. I don't know if she said that during that time. I would say because he pled guilty to the lesser charge of contributing to the delinquency of a minor, that the rape, there was no charge of rape that came up then. But apparently this is what's happening now. So this is going to be quite the ordeal for Charlamagne. But if she was 15, she shouldn't have been at that party. Or rather, let me say this. She shouldn't have been allowed to drink alcohol at the party. You know? She shouldn't have been allowed to drink alcohol. Now, I don't know, man. As men, I have daughters. You know what I'm saying? And men are going to always be very overprotective of their daughters. Very protective of their daughters. You know? I want to know what the fuck is going on with my daughter. Where the fuck is she going? And who the fuck is she going with? And who the fuck is there when she gets to where the final destination is? These are things that I need to know as a fucking father in this day and age, in any day and age. You know what I'm saying? Women are vulnerable, physically vulnerable to men. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not going to get into this young lady's family life. I don't know if there's a father there. I have no idea. Now, apparently there was an uncle in her life, and the uncle, he didn't step to Charlamagne on some shit if she was raped. He never stepped to him, you know. But I'm not going to talk bad about this young sister's family because I don't know enough about the situation. You know, I'm just catching this second and third party, you know, and I just wanted to give my opinion about the situation. I don't know if Charlamagne's guilty of rape. I don't know if he did this. I don't know if she's lying, you know. For his sake, I hope he's not. If he is, he's smart enough to know better. If he actually did have sex with her, you know what I'm saying? You fucked up, G. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel no remorse for a motherfucker as intelligent as you for falling for that trap. You understand what I'm saying? I work for myself now, but I used to work in the school system. Bro, man, listen. These girls come to school dressed like, some of them come to school dressed like hookers on some real shit. I kid you not. You know what I'm saying? I'm in California. You know, you can go to San Bernardino on fucking G Street and just see a parade of fucking hoes all day long strolling up and down that motherfucker right by the Greyhound station. You know what I'm saying? I've seen chicks in high school wearing the same kind of shit, revealing all kinds of shit. You know what I'm saying? Revealing their body. You know what I'm saying? Now, as a fucking man, because this is something that Barbershop Conversation brought up because he used to be a teacher and he talked about a situation where he had to protect himself. Now, me dealing with female students, I would not be anywhere. Like for instance, like on school grounds or something like that. If I was in a classroom with female and it was nothing but female students, the door was always open. You know what I'm saying? And I always kept my distance. I was never like in immersed. You know what I'm saying? In a group of them, I always kept my distance. But I always wanted to make sure that there were other adults or males, even students, in the room. You know what I'm saying? Now, also, there were, because I was a part of the BSU, now, as an adult advisor, now, there were times where, because it was mostly females in the BSU, a lot of the brothers didn't really show up, you know what I'm saying, as often as you would like them to. So it was mostly the young sisters that were there. And some of the teachers would want to see if I would want to be a part of some after school thing that they did, you know, where I would be watching over them and monitoring them, or, you know, taking them to college tours and stuff like that. Now, listen, like on some real shit, like I declined every time because it's going to be mostly female students that sign up for this shit. I'm not isolating myself with a bunch of fucking teenage girls, because all one of them have to do is say something. You know what I'm saying? All they have to do is say something. You know, tell a lie and say, oh, he did this. I think his intentions were that. And I'm screwed. So you got to protect yourself. Because listen, let's keep it 100, man. There are women out here who will fucking lie about this kind of shit. I'm not saying that that means that a woman should be victimized because some women will lie about some shit like that. No, that's not what I'm saying. When a woman is found caught to be a liar, I think there should be a fucking penalty that they pay. You understand what I'm saying? They should pay the same penalty that the person that was accused of guilt had to pay. It's only fair. But that aside, there are women who lie about these kinds of fucking things. You know what I'm saying? So don't ever put yourself in a position where you are compromised. You know what I'm saying? I've had females where I didn't know their age, but they were trying to seriously throw it at me. And I had to decline because I'm going to be on some real shit. It just kept ringing in my head what Pac said. I don't want it if it's that easy. You know what I'm saying? I don't want that shit. That shit sounds like a trap. That shit smells like a setup to me. Yeah, you might call me a little bit annoyed, but fuck that. I mean, at the first instance of my fucking spider sense tingling, bro, I fucking abort straight up and down. Like I'm not playing no games, man. But you guys got to protect yourselves. You know what I'm saying? That's something that I had to do when I was working in the schools. You know, teaching and stuff, being a tutor rather. You know what I'm saying? That's what I used to do, so that that was always, you know what I'm saying, some type of barrier or protection for myself. Now, if you're a fucking pervert ass dude out here and you're fucking out here hunting for these young chicks, you know what I'm saying? Then I hope you get what the fuck you got coming to you. But I just wanted to give my opinion about this whole situation. I don't know if Charlamagne's guilty. You know, there doesn't seem to be a rape charge. So I don't know if he's guilty of actual rape. I have no idea. But if it comes out that he is, you know, then same rules apply, man. You know, you deserve whatever penalty there is for that shit. You know? But who knows, man? Who knows? Who knows if the girl is lying just to get attention or to get money? I don't know. She shouldn't have been at that fucking party though, drinking. She shouldn't have been allowed to drink alcohol if that's the case. If she was there and she got drunk, she shouldn't have been allowed to drink. She shouldn't have been allowed to smoke weed, you know what I'm saying, with adults that are not her parents or physician there to supervise or give her some type of okay to go ahead and do that shit. But again, that's just my opinion. That's my opinion. You know what I'm saying? Men, protect your fucking daughters. If you are a man and you got a daughter and you're not in her life, you are the biggest fucking failure of a father as you could possibly be. You know what I'm saying? Daughters cannot just rely on their fucking mothers to raise them. Because if your baby mama is a stupid bum bitch, guess what she's gonna teach your daughter how to be? You gotta be there. You gotta be that rock, that foundation for your daughters. You understand what I'm saying? There are no fucking excuses for that shit. Be there for your daughters, man. Be there for them. Be that stability that they need. Because if you, and I'm not discounting the sons, because the sons need the fathers just as much as the daughters do. But when your daughter does not grow up knowing or having any understanding of what a man really is, if she ever does, it's gonna take her a long time to actually end up with an actual good man. It's gonna take her a lot of trial and error and a lot of dumbass, dirty dick ass niggas, you know what I'm saying, trying to get at your baby before she realizes that these motherfuckers are a waste of time and effort. Be there for your daughters. You understand? Make sure your daughter's not going to parties where it's more grown ass motherfucking adults than there are peers in her age group. Not saying that kids don't have parties, teenage parties, and don't get drunk at those parties either. Oh, I'm not saying that at all, because they do. We were all teenagers once, and we all been to those parties. And we've all gotten fucked up at house parties before, during, and after. So, you know what I'm saying? So, that's all I'm saying. But it doesn't have to be something that happens when she's in a house full of fucking adults. You understand? But be there for your kids. That's all I'm saying. Be there for your daughters. Watch out over them. Protect them, man. They need that shit now more than ever.